Yeti. How are you?
Oh, hello. What's up?
Sean McCurney, SIXDAWG fan page.
What's up? How you doing?
Meet you.
Good to see you. Yes. How'd you get into my house without me letting you in?
Your publicist was kind enough to show me the way in.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
I know we've missed each other phone calls.
Yes, yes.
But, I'm very glad that you had. Yes, that's the audience. Say hello. That's for the SIXDAWG fan page.
Good to see you. Sit down. Make yourself at home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If I could just ask you a few questions.
Of course.
Please. It's fine. You can come a little closer. That's fine. Yes. Just come a little closer, shall you? Yes. Just to
Who is that?
Oh,
it's the SIXDAWG fans.
Yes, it's the fans.
What's up, everybody?
Fans. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Right.
This is Sean from the SIXDAWG fan page. I'm sitting down with Mr. Akil Yeti James.
What a nice surprise.
Here on the SIXDAWG fan forum. And we're about to ask Mr. James a few questions. This is part one of our Halloween edition of the SIXDAWG fan forum. And we're doing interviews and we do them from time to time. And today we're doing it with Mr. Akil Yeti James, legendary drummer of the rock outfit.
Some might say that.
Well, some might say rock, punk, metal outfit, SIXDAWG. Mr. James, Akil. Again, a pleasure. Thank you very much for sitting down and taking this time to talk to me today.
Thank you for barging into my house.
May I ask you a few questions?
Certainly.
About SIXDAWG?
Fire away.
How and when did SIXDAWG start?
Wow. I would say sometime in '96, maybe second half of 1996.
Okay.
After the dissolution of the band Scarred.
Ah, yes, Scarred.
Yeah, Keith and I continued on.
Explain for the fans a little bit about Scarred, if those who may not know.
Whoa. Wow. Well, Scarred was a project that featured me and Keith.
Okay.
Our friend Dave Tartaglia, I believe, on bass.
Right.
You know, it was kind of a scrappy, really like a hard rock, punk outfit.
Okay.
You know. But, you know, dissolved after being on the road for 5 years.
Yes.
Non-stop grueling tours.
No, they can get grueling out on the road.
Yes, quite difficult,
Now, if you would be so kind, with SIXDAWG, who was in the original lineup?
Original lineup of SIXDAWG, that was me on drums, Keith on guitar, vocals, well, occasional guitar. He's mainly the vocalist.
Okay.
He's not the guy. Oh my God, stop it.
David Tartaglia, possibly, or?
Yes, Dave Tartaglia on bass.
Right.
And Mr. Ed Roddy, also on guitars.
Ah, Ed Roddy.
Yes, Ed Roddy.
Very good.
Very talented gentleman.
Yes. Now, I may recollect, and your recollection may be different, but was not Beanie in the band at some point? And
yes, years later.
How did he enter the band? And I understand there was some controversy about how he departed the band. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, Beanie joined the band years later, on my recommendation. He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
He joined the band on bass.
Ah. Who was he replacing, if I might inquire?
Wow, I think he replaced a one Buddha Paul.
Ah, Buddha Paul.
Right.
A legend in his own right within the annals of
SIXDAWG
history.
Huge. But yeah, Beanie was brought in. You know, he was a good guy. He was well intentioned. But you know, it didn't work out.
I see.
He wanted the band to go in a more, I guess I would use the term emo sounding direction.
Ah, emo, which was a popular sound at that time?
It was very popular. It was very popular.
I see. So this must have been later in SIXDAWG's career then?
Yeah, mid-career I would say.
I see.
You know, he came in, he tried to change all the chords from major to minor, and then it just didn't work out. So he had to be
killed. Did anyone in the band embrace his presence? I know you, from what I understand, you had some...
I went along with it for a short while.
Right, you indulged him for a while, and then did you grow tired of that?
It wasn't so much me, it was Keith grew very, very tired of it, very weary.
I see. Well, that does make sense.
And since Keith is our de facto leader, you know, Beanie had to go.
But he did mesh with some people, did he not?
He messed with our guitarist at the time, which I believe was Mr. Nicholas Shank.
Ah, yes.
One of the
yes.
Shankenstein.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that. That actually reminds me of another question. Why was Hey Johnny Park and Kokomo never played live? I understand that they had been entered on one of the set lists.
Yes, they were rehearsed. They were rehearsed.
And yet they never saw the light of day. Rather odd.
Right.
But considering SIXDAWG's covers, with the songs that they have covered in the past,
right.
I found it a rather odd choice.
One
to
might
choose
say
those
that.
songs. Did you have anything to do with the?
I had nothing to do with
songs?
that. That was all Beanie and Mr. Shankenstein.
I see.
And yeah, no.
So that was kind of an indication of the sound that they were.
It was.
Wishing to take SIXDAWG.
And it was not working out.
Right.
Keith said no.
I see. So he was very clear.
And then he killed.
That actually brings me to another question. Speaking about the sound of SIXDAWG, what would you say is the type of sound that you guys had?
Wow. Good question. I guess it was a mishmash of, influences all thrown together in one pot. But I'd say basically it was a punk metal kind of sound.
Punk metal, mishmash, collaboration.
Yes, all mixed and mashed and stewed in the same pot, stirred up.
So rather eclectic to that extent.
Very
within
eclectic.
the punk
Very.
And metal genres.
Very avant-garde. Very out there.
Yes.
Whatever some people said, they just didn't get us at all.
Klaus Schultz and
exactly.
some progressive.
Very progressive.
I see.
Very avant-garde. Very out there.
Synthesizers employed?
Oh, yes. Which I played myself while playing the drums.
Yeah. Very good. Now, speaking of influences, as you brought up, what are some of your influences, Akil, if I may?
Well, as far as drumming influences while I was in SIXDAWG, I would say little Dave Grohl, little Lars Ulrich, little Trey Cool, the guy from Green Day, little the drummer from that silly band, I can't remember their name again. Dexter. I'm going blank, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Little Eric Kretz from STP, little Dave Lombardo.
STP, Dave Lombardo. Okay. Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Never had the punk band.
Green Day?
Not Green Day. You're getting close, you're getting warm.
Dropkick Murphys?
No, I mentioned them last time we spoke.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, fans, I'm going blank.
Tool?
No, not Tool.
Okay.
Look at punk, they're from California, punk. We'll move along.
Yeah, it's unfortunate I can't recollect that.
Yeah.
But
Offspring.
Offspring.
That's it, a little bit of Offspring. That
See?
drummer.
See? That's alright. So those were some of your influences.
As far as drumming, right?
Right, as far as drumming were concerned. Now, Yeti.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please, tell us, the fans, what do you remember about the recording of SIXDAWG's American Mutt?
The American Mutt album.
Yes.
Huge album. Huge. Sold in the trillions, I believe.
Yes.
The last time I checked, it was trillions sold.
There's quite a few copies.
Yeah, it was recorded at Primetime Studios in Pelham, New York. You know, Tarek's beautiful studio.
Right.
Very beautiful. State-of-the-art equipment. What I remember from the time, the band was very, very focused. As a matter of fact, I just listened to the album recently after many, many years. And I'm shocked at how focused the band sounded and how tight we were. A very, very tight unit. You know, it was amazing because at the time we actually had no guitarist.
Right.
As you may remember, some fans may remember.
I think I do remember that.
Right. As a matter of fact, I played guitar on that recording.
Right.
As well as drums. We had a borrowed guitar from our friend Anthony. A friend of Keith's from a different band. I can't remember the name of his band. But yeah.
Was that Camelot, maybe?
No, not Camelot. That was someone else. Anthony was in a different band.
Yeah, Anthony had...
We have recorded at Pelham, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Pelham, Primetime Studios.
Primetime Studios.
We had Artie on the boards, equalizing the sound.
Primetime, Tarek.
Co-producing, Tarek, Artie.
JT.
That's
That's the guy I was
that whole
gonna
crew.
think of. Yeah, JT.
They were great to us.
Yes.
Very,
Yes, Tarek was
you
always a
guys were-
stand-up guy to SIXDAWG. He gave SIXDAWG a lot of breaks. Shout out to Mr. Mr. Tarek.
Excelente.
Excellent work with doing his Magic,
Right.
American Mutt, and some other releases.
Sprinkled his magic right onto our...
Yeah, so, alright.
And it was, obviously it worked. It sold trillions.
Yes. Now, Akil, I have to ask this, and I know it may be a sore point, because I know there was a lot of ego clashes and things that took place, but for the fans, if you could clarify in your own words, why did the famous SIXDAWG 99 lineup dissolve?
The 99 lineup?
Yes.
Well, first let's name who was in the 99 lineup.
Yes, well that would
be... myself.
Yes, okay.
Keith Lehrer.
Yes.
Nicholas Shank, who we mentioned before, and
yes.
Buddha Paul, who was mentioned before.
Yes.
That was a very good lineup, initially.
Right.
It's a volatile, mix of personalities and talent, all coalesced into a good thing.
Right.
But eventually did implode due to personality differences and also musical differences, I would say.
There was some drama.
Heavy drama, which I don't want to get too.
Well, we don't want to name names or point fingers. I mean, it's all water under the bridge at this point.
Because people were killed, that's why I don't want to get into it.
Some people were asked to.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think guitars disappeared too.
I've heard of that, but again, I don't want
to. That's a rumor.
I don't
want
to
say it's an well, for the record, we'll say it's an unsubstantiated rumor.
Right.
In the interest of diplomacy.
Guitars did disappear. We don't know how exactly,
but a guitar did disappear. I believe it was one of Keith's prized possessions, and
after a gig at the Spiral, I believe.
Yes,
in New York
at
City.
the Spiral, exactly at the Spiral, and it was not a stranger. It was from within. We do not know
so
who
that's
from
alleged.
within. We do not know if it was a band member or a crew member. It could have been...
Or a groupie.
Could have been a groupie. Could have been a hanger-on.
We had many groupies, many.
We had, as any band, we draw a crowd. And,
it was a darker moment in SIXDAWG history.
It was a blemish on SIXDAWG's history. And it was unfortunate how things unfolded.
Right.
But again, I felt compelled. I had to ask.
Right. That's only fair.
And just to get your perspective and your take on it. Well, thank you, Akil. I think that was pretty straightforward.
No problem.
Now, how were songwriting duties in the band handled?
In general, either one of us would write a song. Occasionally someone would come in with an entire song completed, presented to the band. Or in most cases, we would all kind of, put riffs together. Piece by piece. Yes. I come in with a little thing, Keith will have a little thing, Buddha Paul, or whoever, we'd all throw in our ideas into one blob and then shape it into a SIXDAWG song.
Right.
A SIXDAWG gem, as we like to call it. And there were many gems, many.
There were many gems, I must say. As a fan of SIXDAWG myself, I would say there are so many gems and so many great songs. But Yeti, that leads me actually into my next question. What are some of your favorite SIXDAWG songs?
So my favorite?
Yes, I know it's hard to narrow them down. There are so many great ones, so many great gems. But if you could just elaborate a little.
All the songs are very dear to my heart.
Yes, but obviously each one of us has one that we may say is either our baby or our prize.
Right. I like
something that fills us with pride.
Let's see, how about Fallen, I would say?
Fallen.
Of course, Can't See Tomorrow. Everyone loves Can't See Tomorrow.
Can't See Tomorrow is a great.
Neo Slut.
Yes.
Just to name a few.
Anthemic.
Yes.
Classic.
Three that come to mind.
Yes.
Offhand, yeah.
Alright.
But as I said, I love all our songs. They all mean something to me on some level. Okay. Definitely.
Now, what...
Even Sincere.
Sincere, you were telling me about
which is a gem from American Mutt, which sold trillions.
Right.
In case I didn't mention that before. Trillions.
Yes, Sincere. You were telling me that you were unsure about who wrote that song.
Yes, I was listening to that album recently.
I was confused. Did you, in the interim, find out who had
Yes. Mr. Keith Lehrer wrote that song. Our leader.
Keith Lehrer,
the vocalist, yeah. He wrote that gem.
A great song. Great song.
The single sold billions of copies.
Definitely a gem. And since we're talking about favorites, what was your favorite SIXDAWG lineup?
Wow, Sean, it's a very tough question. Very tough question. I don't know if I can answer that. Each incarnation of SIXDAWG had its own unique, pros and cons. But overall, I have to say maybe our most recent lineup, featuring Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Martin Kuhn on guitars, and also
Martin Kuhn and
Ray Grassi.
Mr. Ray Grassi.
Right.
Grassi.
I'd say perhaps maybe that lineup overall.
That was one of your favorites.
Yes, definitely.
And what became of Mr. Kuhn and Mr. Grassi?
They died.
Did they?
Yes, they were killed by Keith.
I was not aware of that.
Yes.
I did know that they had departed the band.
Yeah, that's,
But I was
you heard it here first.
I don't know if that... I'll have to fact check that one,
Check on it. Check.
Mr. Yeti. I'm going to have to look at that.
Their death certificates are on file at the local coroner's office.
I do realize there was a disagreement, but I do believe that there is one gentleman, he did release a book of poetry.
Oh, Kuhn?
I didn't name any names, I just said...
It was released posthumously.
I do believe that a book of poetry was released. It was rather well received within the beatnik and poetry community.
It was released after his death, yes.
I don't know if... I'm pretty sure he's alive and well.
Well, check your records.
Again, I'll have to check on that. And Mr. Grassi, well, I don't know really what...
He was killed.
But again, valued members, the Wizard of Westchester and Cheeseburger, both valued and legendary members in their own right. And one can never diminish the contributions they had made to the band.
Never.
As yourself, you had made a tremendous contribution. As a matter of fact, one of the founding members of SIXDAWG.
True.
One of the founding members. Now, please, Yeti, I realize that you're no longer in SIXDAWG.
Not on a full-time basis. Not right now.
If you could please, for the fans, explain how your departure from the band came about.
Well, I haven't actually departed, Sean. I'm still here, just not on a full-time basis, like I said.
Okay, I see. Well, thank you for the clarification.
Right.
So what do your duties entail present?
As of the last 2 years, I would say, I've had some trouble with my health.
Okay.
That being tendonitis in my shoulders.
Oh, yes.
And this has prevented me from playing on a full-time basis with the band.
So it's limited.
I've taken a sabbatical, you would say.
So you've been limited considerably as to how much you may be able to contribute to SIXDAWG.
Right.
I see.
But I'm not gone. I'm still here. I'm sure I'll be back at some point in the future.
Yes.
Maybe on a limited basis, or maybe on a full-time basis. We'll see.
You were telling me something about medical technology.
Right. There's some research being done now into getting me
a pair of
2 brand new arms, cybernetic arms.
Cybernetic arms.
Right.
Kind of like the $6 Million Man.
Exactly like that. Same concept.
But $6 million back in the 60s would now be...
Right. Adjusted for inflation, it would be like 60 trillion...
60...
Quintillion dollars.
Cotillion.
Right.
Quintillion dollars.
Yes, right.
I see.
Many zeros behind the 6.
Yes. So not an impossible feat to accumulate that much capital.
I think so far we're up to about maybe $55 towards that goal.
So we're starting with baby steps.
Eventually we'll get.
But eventually we'll take that next leap.
Right.
And
I'll be back. 100%.
Now, Yeti, this question that I'm about to ask, the fans have been hounding me all week, and it is a little. It's kind of like the mystique of SIXDAWG, part of the mythos, if you will. As for like, what was that Rolling Stone record where they said that? No, I'm sorry, it was a Beatles record, right? Where they,
okay, perhaps.
You listen to it, they say Paul McCartney's dead or something.
Oh,
like that.
the White Album, or actually one of those.
One of those albums where I can't. It doesn't come to mind right now. But the fans want to know, why did the song / album Boners and Bitches
Boners and Bitches
never get released? Why did that album song never see the light of day?
Very good question.
It wasn't released as a single, it wasn't released as an album, but I do understand it was a conceptual album.
Right, there were discussions. I remember.
It was in the works, and I do believe there was work contributed and submitted on that.
Well, let me.
But it just never.
Yes, actually, I remember one day discussing the concept of boners and bitches with Keith
How did that
and Martin
come about?
in Keith's kitchen. We discussed it at length one day. Yeah, Martin had all kinds of ideas.
Okay.
For the next big SIXDAWG.
Would you say it was his baby or his?
I would say at least 60 to 70% of it was his
so
concept.
he had a large
right.
contribution to that.
And we had planned to get going on that and get things recorded and just start on the whole project, but it never happened.
Well, what happened? Why?
I don't know. I just don't know. Just
Troubling.
like got lost in the ether into.
And has there been any work thus far in trying to locate those tapes?
Well, the tapes do exist.
Okay.
They're in a vault.
I see.
In Lithuania.
Lithuania?
Right. And no one knows the combination to the vault. Since Martin is dead, Martin knew the combination.
I see.
Since he was killed.
Well, don't they have safe crackers?
They have not been able to crack it as of yet.
They believe they have specialists in demolition.
Yes, they do. But no TNT is strong enough to get
the hinges to the door.
Nothing so far has worked.
Nothing has worked so far.
Yeah.
Well, that is a troubling state of affairs.
But hopefully someday, fans stay with us, stick with us, and.
Oh, always.
Someday, hopefully, boners and bitches will see the light of day.
Yes. Now, have you been following events on the SIXDAWG fan page?
I have, yes.
And you do realize that this is our Halloween edition.
It's right around the corner.
This is why we stopped by today.
Right.
To ask you for this first part of our interview series. Yeah, that boners and bitches, that really...
it's really troubling you, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if I can really accept that answer.
All I can say is that just for you, Sean, and for the fans, please just be patient. It will see the light of day. The tapes they're locked in a vault, and we just cannot get into it for the time being.
Ah, I see. Well...
I don't know what else I can say.
All right. Why don't we, as I see that...
I mean, Chinese Democracy, the Guns N' Roses album, that took 14 years to get released.
Yeah, that's true. True. Is there any reason why the cops were summoned? The cops are at the door, and
when?
They did kind of come in unannounced.
When did this happen? Oh, you mean at that certain gig, or?
No.
Those two
yes. Gentlemen right there.
Oh, what? Yeah, I don't know. They're signaling for us to stop, I guess.
Okay, we're gonna have to reconvene this. I guess. Did you call these gentlemen? Is there something you need to discuss?
Looks like they want us to stop for some reason.
Okay. Shut it down for the time being. Maybe.
I guess we should.
Yeah, I guess we should move this elsewhere. Go. Okay. Stay tuned. SIXDAWG fan page, fan forum. We're gonna continue this interview elsewhere, and thank you for tuning in. And please tune in for part 2, which will be shortly for your viewing pleasure submitted. Thank you, and thank Mr. Akil James, Yeti. And
on my knees, I gotta...
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think that's necessary. I think they just want us to move. Okay, Guns.